Welcome into another player preview for the New York Knicks. Today we have Mr. Mikal Bridges, the Iron Man, Mikal Bridges. Chris, excited to talk about Mikal Bridges here. Obviously, dude never misses a game, right? Plays every single game. I think last year was his most minutes per game, right?
Yeah, yeah. Last year he was playing 37. He averaged 37 minutes a game, which is, you know, literally the highest. I think the closest he got to that was 35, and he could thank Tom Thibodeau for that.
Obviously, we know the night out. I think it was before the Portland game where a bunch of chaos was not chaos, but Mikal Bridges spoke up for everyone else. Tom Thibodeau got mad. Mikal Bridges hits this game winner, and it's like, oh my goodness. But we'll talk about that a little later. But Knicks rewarded him, Chris. 4-year, $150 million contract extension with the New York Knicks. He left a little bit on the table. I think it has a trade kicker allowing him to regain the $6.17 million he left on the table. So if the Knicks trade him, he gets that money that he left on the table. So he's ineligible to be traded for 6 months after the extension was signed. But he's still eligible to be traded, I think, before the trading deadline, if I'm not mistaken. But we are not here to talk about that. That's all the logistics, Chris. First year, Mikal Bridges. Give me your all-in-all thoughts, the playoffs, and then I'll feed off of you.
Man, Mikal Bridges, right?
Yeah.
Polarizing figure for the New York Knicks, obviously for many, many reasons. Many good, many bad. It was a roller coaster of a season for Mikal Bridges, right?
Yeah.
He, early on, in the beginning of the season, Knicks fans found out he tinkered with his shot, looked broken. He couldn't hit a three. He couldn't hit an above the break three. It wasn't looking good. It wasn't looking good. We were getting clowned by Brooklyn Nets fans saying, see, we told you. But you know what? As an entirety for the season, he showed up when it mattered the most, and that was in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong, he had some good games during the regular season. The game versus the Spurs on Christmas was one that really stood out to me, where Mikal kind of said, let me show you what I'm capable of.
Mm-hmm.
And he put on a show. But again, playoff series, that stop on Jason Tatum at the end of I don't even remember which game it was, but sealed a huge game for us. Mikal, look, it was a good season. I'm not gonna say it was perfect, it was fantastic, but
Yeah.
he did a lot of good, and when it mattered most, he showed up. And he played every game, and that's something that's very underrated, just being available.
The best ability is availability. And yes, you mentioned the game 1 and game 2 game-winning defensive plays from Mikal Bridges. And I was on post-game saying he's worth every single pick. I don't care. Look, he's always the thing about, you mentioned early on in the season, it was a struggle with Mikal. I mean, I go back to a Charlotte game where he was just a deer in the headlights, and everyone was like, yo, what is up with this guy? There was, the game versus the Nets where he really had a game-sealing block against the Nets, and we thought, okay, he's starting to turn the corner. But it was just a lot of inconsistent play from him. But while doing that, his efficiency from the mid-range was awesome. 51% for mid-range. His three, like you said, tinkered with his shot a little bit. 37% he finished from three, which is, it's pretty good. Like, it's not terrible, right? Corner three, 43%, which is pretty good for his position. It was the above the break threes that were bad for Mikal, but his shots at the rim were great. 76% efficiency field goal was up there. Defensively is really where he was inconsistent, and I really thought towards the end of the season, he started to turn the corner a little bit. And obviously he had big playoffs, even versus the Detroit Pistons, where I remember, I forgot what game it was. It was game. He was like, we're built for this shit. I forgot what game it was, but he didn't do anything from quarters 1, 2, and 3, and in the fourth quarter, lights out, right? Yep. So, but that has defined Mikal. Like, obviously you get the Villanova crew together. You have him paired with Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart. He is a core piece for the Knicks championship puzzle, in my opinion. 17.6 a game. Points per game last season, 50% from the field. Mid-range jump shot is elite. Their abilities there. You know, it's just the inconsistencies with defense is what really concerned me. And I'm wondering if a new coaching change will help improve that area because it wasn't a secret that Mikal Bridges did not, at least in my opinion, did not get along with Tom Thibodeau. He just looked miserable. His body language during some games, I mean, Chris, you remember it was bad. Like I was like, this guy
Yeah.
doesn't even look like he wants to be on the court. And I was pointing it out. A lot of Knicks fans were pointing it out. He just was like sulking, and I'm like, bro, you're playing in New York. Like he seems like I wouldn't call him fragile. I wouldn't call him mentally fragile, Chris, but he just seems like he gets in these zones where if he's not playing well, it affects everything. Like he'll have these bad stretches, and with the amount of pressure in New York, but I do feel like he overcame that a little bit. Do you think
Yeah.
so?
Yeah. I mean, to an extent, I feel like he's more of like a just wears his emotions, on his sleeve. Like he can't hide them, right?
Yeah.
Because it would be a game that the Knicks win, and they'll do a post game interview with Mikal, and he looks like he wants to, run away and go hide or something. But I don't
Yeah.
know. It was kind of strange. I mean, look, it was a strange season for Mikal, and a lot of expectations were there. Obviously coming in and a guy like Dante going out, who everybody loved, and they
Yep.
expected big things from Mikal. They thought he was going to be, the Phoenix Suns Mikal, basically coming in there, defensive player of the year type of. But I think it took Mikal some time, like you said, throughout the season, just to kind of figure it all out, where he fits, where to attack, where to take his shots,
Yeah.
and to get acclimated on defense. But yeah, I think it was no secret that he had a little bit, I won't say, I'll just say there was some disagreements with Tom Thibodeau and probably the
Yeah.
way that he was running things. So, obviously you mentioned he advocated for the bench guys getting more minutes and things like that, which
Which is big because
which was huge. I mean, if not for them, we probably don't see some of those bench guys get some extra minutes.
look, I feel like that was the end of Dibs. Honestly,
Yeah,
when
yeah,
when one of your players you traded 5 first-round picks for goes to the media and says that, we all saw how Tom Thibodeau was extremely heated when he was
yeah,
trying to explain himself, and that's an important note because new coach, right? So
yep.
new system.
And not only that, you throw the bench guys in there, and during the playoffs, and you get instant returns. That's another strike on when it comes to that
Yep.
scenario. But yeah, look, um, all in all, Mikal Bridges, good season. I'm happy. I think he was worth every penny, and I think we're only scratching the surface when it comes to Mikal. And I'm kind of excited to see him in Mike Brown's offense, whatever that's going to look like, because we really don't know yet. But if he's playing free and clear and not worried about whatever it was that bugged him when it came to Tibbs and the way Tibbs likes to play,
Yeah.
we might see a whole nother Mikal out there.
Funny thing about his contract, so he got paid 150 million over 4 years. It's actually 150 million and a dollar. So he had to get an extra dollar in that.
Gotta get that dollar, man.
I'm wondering if he tried to get more money than a particular player, and he just like, hey, I got paid more money than you. But that was a funny note regarding Mikal Bridges. Yeah, look, the fit with OG Anunoby, Chris. I look Wingstop, right? Everyone loved Wingstop. Kind of underwhelming at times, but you rely to them a lot. I mean, you can't just say, hey, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, can you fix our defensive liabilities and Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns at the same time? I mean, it's a lot to ask for. It worked most of the time. Sometimes it didn't work. The switching was inconsistent at times during the season. I thought his fit with Mitch and OG Anunoby, those lineups, you could switch a lot, and I feel like the Knicks found something later on in the season with that when Mitch was playing more and more. Playmaking jump ticked up a little bit. Obviously, he, in terms of handling the rock, he's one of the Knicks' best handlers on the team. I mean, last year, you saw sometimes they had Mikal Bridges bring the ball up instead of Jalen Brunson or Josh Hart. Mikal Bridges, you wanted to see him run the offense more, and the Knicks tinkered with that somewhat. Again, I'm interested to see how Mike Brown switches up the system now that you have all these new pieces, right? So,
Yeah.
year one, you get to the Eastern Conference Finals, inconsistent year. You gave 5 first round picks. I don't care. I don't like. Are we over that? Like, can we put that to bed this year about the picks, or is that
I,
always going to is that always going to carry with Mikal?
I personally think it can be put to bed. I really do. I
Yeah,
mean, look, what he did in the playoffs by itself, just you don't know. You look those picks, like Josh Hart says, right? Those are high schoolers somewhere. We're not even thinking about that. The fact of the matter is, Mikal played every single game,
yeah,
and in the playoffs, he was effective. And not only effective, he was an important piece on the team. And we have him now locked up, barring any crazy unforeseen trades, which I highly doubt will happen involving Mikal. But
yeah.
look, you got this guy next to OG Anunoby, and they're just going to improve. Their chemistry is going to improve. The continuity is going to be there. We spoke about that at times last season. Continuity is something that's huge in the NBA. So, look, I think hands down the Knicks. Even if you don't want to say the Knicks won the trade, but they definitely are not losers when it comes
No,
to Mikal Bridges.
and going back to prior what I said, it was Game 3 where Mikal Bridges had a crucial comeback performance, and then Game 4 he had the pivotal 3 pointers against the Detroit Pistons that helped the Knicks ultimately win that series. So, and then you go to the next series, he has the block on Tatum and the
Yeah.
steal, and it's like, oh my god, like this is unreal. And then Pacers a little bit inconsistency there, but I think when you take a look at the whole season in a whole, like I give Mikal like a B, B plus, man. You get
Yep.
thrown into an environment, right, where a bunch of new players, a new system. Yeah, it's across the bridge, but it
Yeah.
doesn't compare to what's going on in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, I
And
mean, not only that, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but not
no,
only
go ahead.
that, he was the number one option out there in
Yeah,
Brooklyn. So to
exactly.
have to come in and now you're
Adjustment.
deferring to Brunson, you're deferring to Cat, you're deferring to OG, everybody's getting a piece. That's tough to, come in and just adjust to that on the fly. But I give credit to Mikal for that. That's tough.
Yeah, and it was an adjustment for him, right? I mean, this is the
Yeah.
guy who's been to the NBA Finals with the Phoenix Suns and actually performed pretty well with them. So these big games don't phase him, and I think the Knicks value that. And obviously, they gave up a haul for him, but you pair him with Jalen Brunson. Year one, you make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think another year of continuity with the guys is just going to bring even more joy to the Knicks fans, and hopefully we can get as far as the NBA Finals this year and make it past the Eastern Conference Finals. But yeah, I mean, look, you can't put a price on the Iron Man stuff. Like honestly, I think a lot of people overlook that stuff,
Yeah.
and he has never missed a game. Like never missed a game. So yes, there's going to be nights where he's going to be struggling, and people are still going to point at the picks. But I'm like, especially in today's NBA, Chris, where guys take a night off, 2 nights off, they're banged up. Mikal, no, he's out there every game, and you can't put a
Yep.
price on that. He's always available. So I kind of liked it when he spoke up in the middle of the season regarding Thibs. Like, okay, like oh, finally, like maybe he kind of felt like he had the power in that situation because look, I mean, what are they gonna do? They traded 5 firsts for me. I mean,
It's
I
true.
got some power and I'm going to speak my mind. And I do think he was one of the people that did not like Tom Thibodeau. But, and another thing is he's working with the young guys. Like he's trying to build relationships with Daddy A, with McCullough Jr. You saw him in Summer League, first row. You saw him in Westchester in the gym working with those guys. So it's not like he's a just there to pick up a check. Like he wants to win an NBA championship. You're seeing all the little things. And I just think he's poised to have a big year for the Knicks. And he's a big piece of the puzzle, Chris, whether you like it or not. He's gonna start. He's gonna play all 82, knock on wood. him and OG Anunoby, I think, will just grow and grow in terms of their continuity. And yeah, man, I mean the ball handling stuff, I think the 3-point stuff, the changing of the shot stuff, I think that all got kind of like really talked upon a lot last season, and for good reason. But all in all, I'm rambling here. I like Mikal. There was times when I came on the post games, Chris, and I ragged on him for good reason. But you paid him,
Likewise.
so you paid him. So I mean, he's a part of the future.
Yeah, he's here to stay, in my
Yeah,
opinion. He's here to stay, and yeah, we all came on. You know, everybody has something to say about Mikal and his
yeah,
shooting woes early on, but look, all in all, very solid player. And I think he's going to take it to another level, especially
yeah.
if what I'm thinking comes to fruition, which is Mike Brown's offense being more fast paced. I think the Knicks are going to be flying up and down the court,
Let's
man.
go.
And I feel like that play is in their favor.
Let's
I think
go.
Mikel's capable of that. Obviously, JB is, and
Yeah.
OG can fly up and down the court as well. So we'll see,
And
man.
look, his efficiency, other than the big defensive stops in the playoffs, they did take a little hit during the playoffs. 35% from three in the playoffs. 36% from above the break, which is not good. But look, I'm excited to watch him. I think he could grab a defensive player of the team award this year, Chris. I just think he's that good of a player, and I'm excited to watch him play. Expectations for Mikal Bridges this year, maybe an all-star, bold. I don't know. The thing is, he has that in him, right? He could be an
Yeah,
all-star.
yeah, he definitely can be. I'll
Only one
say,
ball.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'll say peak All Star bid, right,
yeah,
for Mikal Bridges.
yeah.
That's what I'll go.
So Mikal Bridges, excited to watch him play. Another season with the New York Knicks. Was super excited when they acquired him, and we just have high hopes for him this season. All right, that was Mikal Bridges player preview. If you're interested to watch the player previews, they are right here on the screen, right there in the middle of the screen. We're gonna keep this ball rolling. Appreciate you guys. Subscribe, like. Season's coming up. Hats are dropping soon. You see us got the Knicks Nation hats. Let's go. Let's go, Knicks. I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation.
I'm Chris.
Peace.
Peace.